And now, O Israel, give heed to the laws and rules that I am instructing you to observe, so that you may live to enter and occupy the land that Yahweh, the God of your fathers, is giving you. You shall not add anything to what I am commanding you, or take anything away from it, but keep the commandments of Yahweh your God I enjoin upon you. You saw with your own eyes what Yahweh did in the matter of Baal Peor, that Yahweh your God wiped out from among you every person who followed Baal Peor, while you held fast to Yahweh your God are still all alive today. See, I have imparted to you laws and rules, as Yahweh my God has commanded me, for you to abide by in the land that you are about to enter and occupy. Observe them faithfully, for that will be proof of your wisdom and discernment to other peoples, who, on hearing of all these laws, will say, Surely that nation is a wise and discerning people. For what great nation is there that has a God who's so close at hand is Yahweh our God whenever we call upon him? Or what great nation has laws and rules that as perfect as all this teaching that I set before you this day? But take utmost care and watch yourselves scrupulously, so that you do not forget these things that you saw with your own eyes, and so that they do not fade from your mind as long as you live, and make them known to your children and your children's children. The day you stood before Yahweh your God at Horeb, when Yahweh said to me, Gather the people to me, that I may let them hear my words, in order that they may learn to revere them as long as they live on earth, and may so teach their children. You came forward and stood at the foot of the mountain. The mountain was ablaze with flames to the very skies, dark with densest clouds. Yahweh spoke to you out of the fire. You heard the sound of words, but perceived no shape, nothing but a voice. He declared to you the covenant that he commanded you to observe, the 10 Commandments, and he inscribed them on 2 tablets of stone. At the same time Yahweh commanded me to impart to you laws and rules for you to observe in the land that you are about to cross and occupy. For your own sake, therefore, be most careful, since you saw no shape when Yahweh your God spoke to you at Horeb out of the fire. Do not act wickedly and make for yourselves a sculptured image of any likeness whatever, the form of a man or a woman, the form of any beast on earth, the form of any winged bird that flies in the air, the form of anything that creeps on the ground, the form of any fish that is in the waters below the earth. And when you look up to the sky and behold the sun and the moon and the stars, the whole heavenly host, you must not be lured into bowing down to them or serving them. These Yahweh your God has allotted to other peoples everywhere under heaven, but you, Yahweh, took and brought out of Egypt, that iron blast furnace, to be his very own people, as is now the case. Now Yahweh was angry with me on your account, and swore that I should not cross the Jordan and enter the good land that Yahweh your God is assigning as a heritage. For I must die in this land. I shall not cross the Jordan, but you will cross and take possession of that good land. Take care then not to forget the covenant that Yahweh your God concluded with you, and not make for yourselves a sculptured image in any likeness which against which Yahweh your God has enjoined you. For Yahweh your God is a consuming fire, an impassioned God. When you have begotten children and children's children, and are long established in the land, should you act wickedly and make for yourselves a sculptured image of any likeness, causing Yahweh displeasure and vexation, I call heaven and earth this day to witness against you that you shall soon perish from the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess. You shall not long endure in it, but shall be utterly wiped out. Yahweh will scatter you among the peoples, and only a scant few of you shall be left among the nations to which Yahweh will drive you. There you will serve man-made gods made of wood and stone that cannot see or hear or eat or smell. But if you search there for Yahweh your God, you will find him, if you only seek him with all your heart and soul. When you are in distress because all these things that have befallen you, and in the end return to Yahweh your God and obey him. For Yahweh your God is a compassionate God. He will not fail you, nor will he let you perish. He will not forget the covenant which he made on oath with your fathers. But you have to inquire about bygone ages that came before you ever since God created man on earth. From one end of heaven to the other, has anything grand as this ever happened, or its like ever been known? Has any people heard the voice of a God speaking out of a fire as you have and survived? Or has any God ventured to go and take for himself one nation from amidst of another by prodigious acts, by signs and portents, by war, by a mighty and outstretched arm and awesome power, as Yahweh your God did for you in Egypt before your very eyes? It has been very clearly demonstrated to you that Yahweh alone is God. There is none besides him. From the heavens he let you hear his voice to discipline you. On earth he let you see his great fire. From amidst that fire you heard his words. And because he loved your fathers, he chose their heirs after them. He himself in his great might led you out of Egypt to drive you from your path, nations greater and more populous than you, to take you into their land and assign it to you as a heritage, as is still the case. Know therefore this day and keep in mind that Yahweh alone is God in heaven above and earth below. There is no other. Observe his laws and commandments which I enjoin upon you this day, that you may go well with you and your children after you, and that you may long remain in the land that Yahweh your God is assigning to you for all time. When Moses set aside 3 cities on the east side of the Jordan, to which a manslayer would escape, one who unwittingly slew a fellow man without having been hostile to him in the past, he could flee to one of these cities and live. Bezer in the wilderness, in the tableland belonging to the Reubenites, Ramoth and Gilead belonging to the Gadites, and Golan and Bashan belonging to the Manassites. This is the teaching that Moses set before the Israelites. These are the decrees, laws, and rules that Moses addressed the people of Israel after they had left Egypt, beyond the Jordan, in the valley of Beth-peor, in the land of King Sihon, of the Amorites who dwelt in Heshbon, whom Moses and the Israelites defeated after they had left Egypt. They had taken possession of his country, and that of King Og of Bashan, the 2 kings of the Amorites who were on the east side of the Jordan, and from Aror on the banks of the Wadi Arnon. as far as Mount Sion, that is Hermon, also the whole Arabah on the east side of the Jordan, as far as the Sea of Arabah, at the foot of the slopes of Pisgah,